Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I am your ever-loving host, Shorter. And today, I'm finally getting around to reviewing Parasomnia. The reason this was my last one of the week is the other ones we have reviewed, there was like very limited amounts in it. In fact, I actually totally missed Darling. It sold out before I just even look at it. But Parasomnia was on my pull list, which makes you probably assume that I'm going to be waxing lyrical about how much I love it and how it's great, and I'm totally glad I put it on my list. Well, that is certainly true, but not for the reasons even I expected. To start with, I've got to say I basically ordered this one because I like the cover. Just love that. Something very, very cool about it. I like the upside down reflection. I think it plays off really quite nicely, even without really knowing what's going on, because I don't really read much about this one. I knew it was Andrea Mutti on artwork, Andrea Mutti, and I genuinely think they're great. I love a nice bit of watercolor. And Cullen Bunn on the writing duties. And Cullen Bunn is a writer who I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with. He did Harrow County, which is one of the best bits of American Gothic horror I've ever read. And I'm glad he keeps going back and making more of it. And he's done some of the perfectly fine horror comic books, but he's also done some stuff which doesn't impress me at all. And in balance, he's done not enough to make me a fan of his. So why have I got it with his name on? Because I'm always willing to let him take another shot at it. And it's worked on this one, but not for the reasons I expected. First of all, I'm going to tell you basically what this story is. It's a dual narrative, contemporary America, and then some kind of mystical early modern. Actually, not early modern. Yeah, we'll call it early modern. I don't want to get into too much of the exact period it's set in, because it's mystical anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And the two narratives seem to have a vague thread connecting them, but not enough that you really are 100% sure what's going on. In fact, it's only at the end, in the last couple of pages, where there is more of a sense of, right, okay, I think I've put my finger on this now. I'm not even necessarily saying I would be 100% correct. Effectively, what you have is a world with a homeless gentleman who is upset, potentially looking for a lost son, not 100% on that one. It might be his son, it might be his grandson. And as it turns out, when you get to the end of it, the son is in some kind of medical coma in a trailer park in America, with people who seem a little bit odd about the entire thing. The woman who seems to be caring for him seems genuinely to be concerned, but the rest of them don't seem to really care that much. You don't get much of a sense of that. It's like that's just dropped in right at the end. And in the fantasy early modern period, you've got a dashing highwayman, which will give you an awful information about who I am. Not the first time in my life when I've been enjoying some media involving a highwayman, stopped what I was doing to Google how easy to actually get a highwayman's coat, like an authentic one that looked good. Not for any LARPing or historical reenactments, just because I quite want one. It's really hard to do. But his story is brilliant, and it's full of action and adventure, and Muti actually totally nails it on the artwork for this. I'm just going to show you this, just probably the only artwork I'm going to show you, because the rest I think you're better off looking at yourself. But the action, this is absolutely brilliant. I love the use of colours. I love the fact that apart from the red, which everything is grimy and dingy, it works very, very well for where the fight is set. I love this panel where the red actually is the backdrop to it. I think it's really clever, really intelligently done. But he's off trying to find his son, which makes him think, well, hang on, what's going on here? Who is this an analogous story where somebody hunting for their lost son is also happening in the real world? Is it the homeless gentleman? And it's when you get right to the end, you think, well, actually, maybe it's the kid in the coma. Maybe he is imagining this entire thing. But I wasn't 100% sure. And that's when Dark Horse really annoyed me, because there's a double-page spread, not a double spread, just 2 pages, the last page of the comic book, and then coming next month, and it looks brilliant. It looks like they're replacing Highwayman with First Nations Brave. But then underneath, it literally tells you what's going on in the next issue, which explains more about what's happened in the first issue than the entire first issue did. And that is a crime I cannot forgive Dark Horse Comics, because the reason I love this more than I have any other Cullen Bunn for quite some time is that he's not trying to do horror. What he's doing is action and suspense and mystery. And it turns out he's brilliant at it. Genuinely love how little he tells you, and lets the story just unfold in front of your eyes, lets you fall in love with the characters and get drawn into the action and the world building. And then Dark Horse just go and ruin it. By the way, that's 5 minutes. Hope you have a great weekend. Look after each other and stay safe, everyone. Bye.